G'day everyone, Artist Wayne here, and how are we all on this fine Sunday morning? I'm just leaving the farm. Wife Jackie and I are looking after in beautiful Timor, and I'm heading back to my old stomping ground. That's right, I'm heading back to the wild Watagan State Forest on the Central Coast in New South Wales, Australia. And I only have a 3-hour ride ahead of me, so it's super early and it's bloody cold. But that's the devotion I have for my mate, Santiago. He invited me to ride with a bunch of he and his friends with a promise of a day filled with drama. And Santiago and I love drama. Well, I made it back to the Central Coast, and it's a hive of activity as we ready ourselves for this hardcore adventure. And joining Santiago and I was Peter, Ange, aka Angel Eyes, Mark, Verona, Andres, Martin and Nicholas. All bikes were now prepped and ready, so let the games begin. And because we were riding in one of the wettest parts of the Watagan State Forest, it's a good thing they haven't had any rain here, otherwise there'd be water puddles and bogs everywhere. And that, my fellow adventure riders, would make it very hard for some of us on the bigger bikes, like the one Martin was riding. He certainly had his work cut out for him here, riding the big 1250 GS. And Martin's GS wasn't the only big beamer on this ride. That's right, my mate Peter has finally joined me for all the fun and games. And another special person I was finally getting to ride with was Santiago's better half, Ange. And today Ange was riding Santiago's bike, and Santiago was riding Ange's bike. Now that might come as a shock to some of you who have watched Santiago gallivanting all over the countryside on the mighty Tenere, but there you go. He's been riding Ange's bike all along. Maybe Ange should start hiding the keys. I too was riding a mighty Tenere and getting myself stuck. And if I'm getting stuck here, it won't bode well for the big BMWs. Oh, and by the way, helping me catch all the action on today's ride was Santiago. Normally he only turns his camera on for 10 minutes per ride, so hopefully today he turns it on and leaves it on.
You're gonna have a lot of patience today, mate.
Ready? Bit more.
And whilst all this was going on, Juan was checking how deep it was on the other side. Clearly he didn't think we were going to get Peter's BMW through. But of course we did, and then the bikes just flowed. And flowed, and flowed. And they kept flowing until Martin came along.
No. Go, keep going. Keep going.
Andale.
Martin, Nick, Andre, Verona, Juan, Peter, Ange and Santiago had made it. Now it was time to find something harder. Like a little hill climb. At least being on higher ground, we could no longer get bogged. Although I think the big BMWs were going to have a little bit of trouble today. Martin was struggling, and at the start of this hill, Peter had gone AWOL.
Wayne's already got the say.
No, he knows where he was coming.
Oh yeah, I was just here for the drama. Martin was down, but not out. I would have loved to have helped the boys, but lifting a BMW 1250 looked like hard work. So I just waited on my bike till the trail was clear. And once we left that hill, Ange, aka Angel Eyes, wanted to see how it felt to whiskey throttle a KTM 350. Well, we'd only just begun and the drama was coming thick and fast. so we headed off to look for more. And it came in the form of more boggy trails. Now we could slip and slide our way through the Watagan State Forest.
Drama!
I think they got water.
Don't they have hoses underneath?
Can you hear that?
Get it out!
Get it out.
Get it out! Oi!
Give it.
Don't they have hoses? The hoses suck water when they're sitting in. Just push it out.
Pick it up. Go.
Then the water will come back out.
¿Para qué separarte?
Vamos!
Okay, Wayne, which line?
Well, before I could answer one, a whole heap of enduro boys came through and showed us the line to take.
Drama! Drama!
It's always best to send the biggest bikes through first. If it's deep and they drop their bikes, we can just ride over them. But in the end, we didn't need to concern ourselves with the big bikes. It was the smaller bikes we needed to worry about.
Whoa! Whoa! Drama!
Well, thankfully, Juan's KTM freeride was okay, and everyone else made it across without any drama. And Ange was certainly showing the boys how it was done.
Eso!
Well, we were having a fantastic day, that's for sure. Well, I was anyway. But I couldn't help but think that the boys on the bigger bikes, Peter and Martin, must have been feeling a little bit fatigued by now. They certainly were doing a fantastic job slipping and sliding their big BMWs through this slop. And when Martin did happen to drop his big 1250 in the drink, it didn't really matter. Everyone knows BMWs never fully fall over. They basically just lay down at a 45-degree angle, making them extremely easy to pick up, or so I've been told.
One.
Hold on.
1, 2, 3.
The big beamers are also so large that sometimes they don't even lean at a 45-degree angle, they just stay upright.
I took the wrong one. I checked it, that's not deep.
Probably there, straight through.
I didn't check that one. I figured there's that mound.
That's it. Keep going. You'll get through. Keep going. More throttle. Yeah! Woo! Why didn't you take that one, Peter?
No, I didn't know.
Everyone can just dirty your bike as they go past.
Oh, at least my worries. The front, all that sand come over the top.
Andres to the rescue! Well, after all that muddy mayhem, we bid farewell to Juan and Martin, and the rest of us tried our luck elsewhere. Although some of the tracks clearly weren't big bike friendly.
So let's go. Now we can go to your tracks. Like let's turn there, and you know the area better than I.
Well, there you go, you all heard it. Santiago was entrusting me with the ride. What could go wrong? How good is that? I've taken over and things were going better than expected. But then Verona crashed his WR250F. Apparently it was a rather spectacular crash, but as usual Santiago didn't have his camera on. And then Peter dropped his
Yeah, I
beamer.
looked it up.
Nick got well and truly bogged.
Yo la empujo y se la acelera. 1, 2, 3.
Peter dropped his beamer again.
Grandma! Hold me!
And against all odds, Peter dropped his beamer once more.
How many new followers?
Drama. It's all about the drama. You need to lift the back wheel up.
Oh, we need help because it's really stuck.
Yeah, lift the back wheel out.
How about help?
I'd help, but I must video.
Acelere, acelere!
Pretty much after that it was all smooth sailing. And if you believe that, you'd believe absolutely anything. Because this was a ride that just kept giving. And what it kept giving was drama. And against all odds I found myself well and truly bogged. And young Nick just buggered off and left me. And then Andres left. They were just leaving me behind. Leaving me bogged and stranded. Please, no, not you, Ange. Yep, Ange, Peter, Nick, Andres, they'd all left me. And I'll tell you what, I was proper bogged. You know, I have a mate that reckons if you're riding up front and you happen to get bogged, it's not your fault. And on this occasion, I found myself agreeing with him. I'd well and truly gotten myself into a sticky situation here. Hopefully with Andre's help, we can get this bike out easily. Andres to the rescue!
Just go slow.
Clearly I was well and truly stuck. It was going to take more than 2 people to get this bike out.
I think we need the straps.
A strap sounded like a great idea.
We're doing it. Come on.
We moved a couple of mil.
Let's go. All of us. Come on. We did move. 1, 2, 3, go. 1, 2, 3, go.
Who'd be stupid enough to go in there?
Leverage. 1, 2, 3.
Mate, I'd say leave it here, but it's my bike. And normally when I help other people with their bikes, I just act like I'm
Help.
But now I really have to help.
Okay, let's go.
Ready?
1, 2, 3.
Come on!
Yep.
What now?
Let's just pull it from here. So,
Getting it
hey, we need more people. These 3 people won't work.
You're not doing nothing.
I am.
You're not doing nothing.
Yeah, it looks like a chocolate mud cake. I'm hungry. Oh, shit.
No, you need the strap. Need that strap. You need that strap.
Let's leave him to be eaten by the hand.
1, 2, 3.
See?
We certainly were making progress. It may have been a slow process, but we were making progress nonetheless.
Grieg! Grieg!
adventure riders, it's a fantastic feeling knowing you're not going to be left stuck in the mud. It only took an hour to free my bike. Now we just had to get Peter and his BMW out of there.
Watagan's hardcore.
Well, I'll tell you what, it had been a huge day so far, and let's not forget, I still had a 3-hour ride ahead of me just to get back to the farm today. So it was probably a good idea to find some easy trails back. However, it's not always easy to find easy trails in the Watagan State Forest, especially big bike-friendly trails. Although I must admit I was doing a pretty good job at finding them. Everything was running smoothly, and I reckon I'd have all our riders back in no time. For the moment, surprisingly, we were running drama-free. Nobody had gotten bogged or dropped their bikes so far, so that was a good thing. We did, however, seem to be riding down into a valley, so you know what that means, boys and girls. It's probably going to be wet and boggy, and we'll probably need to climb out. So maybe it wasn't a good idea for Santiago to trust me to take the lead. Although I reckon everyone was thoroughly enjoying themselves, and this trail would definitely be getting easier before it got harder. This certainly looked a little gnarly and might give some of the riders trouble, but not Angel Eyes Edge. She was killing it. As for poor Peter, after such a Herculean effort today, he must have been absolutely knackered. Hopefully he's left something in the tank, because like I said earlier, we'll probably have to climb out of this hole, and I had a sneaking suspicion he was going to struggle here. Well done, Peter. Finally, the traffic jam was clear and all bikes began to flow.
Drama!
My fellow adventure riders, it was time to climb. Beginning our climb out was certainly going to be interesting. But if we wanted to get out of here, we'd have to climb our way out. And therein lies the problem. Big bikes don't climb well when they're riding enduro tracks. But that's basically what we'd been riding all day. So why change now? Unfortunately, when we got halfway up this hill, there was no way we were going further until we found a chicken track, that is. And in Peter's haste to get to the chicken track, he dropped his BMW one last time. Fortunately, he wasn't hurt, and we were all able to follow his smoke trail to the top of this hill, where we found ourselves in familiar territory. We'd finally come full circle. We were now so close to the cars it wasn't funny, which begs the question, why on earth would Andres insist on turning his BMW 650 into a one-man submersible? I for one thought that was enough drama for one day. We now had 3 bikes left, and then we could all go home. Ange needed a little help, but as for Santiago, well, he needed a lot.
Okay. More!
Santiago should have been ashamed of himself. Fancy needing to be pulled out of here. Why couldn't he just ride it like I did? We're riding the same bloody bike. Anyway, we had one more rider to get through. We'd saved the biggest bike till last. Peter just needed a hand to get his BMW off its stand. Now the big question was, would Peter get the big 1200 through where others had failed? All his bike riding experience had come down to this one pivotal moment. Thanks! Now we could all go home because that was a hardcore adventure. I'm Artist Wayne Dowson and thanks for watching everyone.